When a man separates from a woman, it's not just the end of a relationship, it's the beginning of a silent war that very few truly understand. Many believe that distancing oneself from a woman simply means cutting off contact, blocking her, ceasing to text her, or never contacting her again. But the reality is far more complex. The real transformation happens in silence, and what's most interesting is everything she begins to experience when you're no longer around. Let me be clear. A woman rarely reacts immediately when a relationship ends. She may appear calm, relieved, or even happy. However, what happens next is what almost no one tells you and what you really need to understand. Because while you face the emptiness, the pain, or the confusion, she's watching how you react. And that's where the real psychological game begins. Because it's no longer just about who left whom, but about who manages to rebuild their life first, who preserves their dignity, and who leaves an indelible mark. Many men make the mistake of begging, crying, or seeking explanations. Others leave with a false pride, feigning coolness while inside they're crumbling. But the man who truly understands what's at stake takes a step back and transforms. He doesn't play the victim. He doesn't lower himself. He doesn't compete. He simply evolves. And do you know what happens when you do that? She begins to feel what she didn't feel at first. She begins to remember the good times. She begins to imagine you with someone else. She begins to wonder if she made the right decision. She begins to feel your absence. That's why this video isn't for those who want to mourn a loss. It's for those who want to understand what really happens inside a woman's mind when a man decides to disappear with dignity. I'm going to show you the 10 changes that begin to take place in her from the moment you separate and truly leave. Because yes, at first she might not say a word, but when she realizes she no longer has you the way she used to, everything changes. 1. At first she pretends it doesn't affect her. When you break up with a woman, the first thing she usually does isn't cry. The first thing is to pretend that everything is perfectly fine, and that confuses many men. She smiles on social media. She continues with her routine as if nothing happened. She goes out with her friends. She posts quotes about self-love. She even seems happier than when she was with you. Does that mean she's over you? No. It means she's trying to convince herself and the world. This stage functions as a defense mechanism, an emotional mask. She knows that if she shows that it hurts, she feels like she loses power within that invisible game. That's why she pretends. She acts. And sometimes she even exposes herself more than usual. But behind that forced security lies something much deeper. The need to test whether you'll react. She remains vigilant. Not so much to what you post, but to everything you choose not to do. If you reach out to her, she breathes a sigh of relief because she feels she still has control. But if you don't, something inside her begins to break. And that's precisely what many men don't understand. They rush to her when they see she's still seemingly happy, and in doing so, they validate her game. They show her that they can still be emotionally manipulated. On the other hand, the man who truly understands the situation takes a deep breath and avoids acting impulsively. That man who doesn't fall for the emotional charade provokes a completely different reaction. Because while she plays a role hoping you'll feel guilt, despair, or pain, you remain focused on yourself, on your peace, and on your own worth. And that throws her off balance. Because she expected to find a broken man. She expected a message from you, and "I miss you," a "let's talk." And when that never comes, she doesn't feel free. She feels empty. That emptiness you create by not reacting has much more power than any words, because you're not creating drama, you're creating absence. And no matter how much she denies it, no matter how strong she tries to appear, the silence begins to speak much louder than her own words. And it's precisely there, even if she never admits it, that you already occupy a constant space in her mind. 2. He begins to observe you silently. After pretending that everything is fine, she enters an even more delicate stage. She begins to observe you from afar without leaving any trace. She doesn't text you. She doesn't respond to your posts. She doesn't ask about you. But she's seeing everything. She watches your stories, review your photos, see if you're more active. analyze whether you seem happy or distracted. He even tries to figure out if there's someone else with you. And he does all this without giving anything away because he doesn't want you to know he's still watching you. He